Big Dumb Movie.
Hello and welcome to Big Dumb Movie, where we discuss movies of the big dumb variety. I'm your host Corey, and I'm here with my two lovely co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
And Jonathan.
How you guys doing?
Jonathan, you grew up in the same area as me at the same time as me. We're very close to the same age. What was your experience with the Street Fighter movie? I mean, did you see it in theaters as a kid? What was your first exposure? Or to the franchise in general? I mean, Street Fighter was a big deal in the 90s. And where are you at on it?
Street Fighter was huge for me. I spent a lot of time at the Boys and Girls Club, and they used to have the Street Fighter 2 arcade. And I mean, I would rob quarters out of my dad's change caddy just to play this game every day. I didn't even see the movie until I was probably a grown adult. But the game was what was definitely more influential for me.
Which really begs the question, what's the greater level of disappointment? Seeing it like I did at a kid in theaters, or seeing it as an adult? Because this movie's not great. Let's be honest. We gotta put that out there right now.
It's not winning any Oscars.
Maybe a few Razzies. But Josh, what's your experience with Street Fighter?
I was exposed to Street Fighter around the time I was exposed to Mortal Kombat.
Exposed to?
Yeah.
You make it sound like a guy in a trench coat ran up to you and opened it up and he just had Street Fighter VHSs duct taped to his body.
Here, kid, look at this.
You want to buy some anime?
Apparently, during the production of this movie, like I said, it was peak Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he was doing coke. A lot of coke. Now, look, this is what I read online. Who knows if it's true? I imagine it's probably very close to this, but apparently during production, it was at the point of his addiction where he was doing $10,000 of coke a week. And apparently it was very difficult to work with on this movie. He didn't want to come out of his hotel and or trailer to come do scenes. They had to hire a handler for him, and he was having an affair with Cammy, the woman that played Cammy. Her name's
Kylie
Minogue.
Kylie Minogue?
Yeah, Kylie Minogue.
Minogue. There it is.
Oh, no, man.
A recording artist. She had a couple good songs.
Did she?
On the top Billboard charts. Yeah.
I don't know about her. Do tell. What did she do? Yeah, so he was doing a lot of coke. He apparently was a pain in the ass to work with on this movie. That's exactly the way I envision 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme, just a really full of himself, I'm the best action star in the world kind of thing. But to me, he was always like a B-level action star. He wasn't never Arnold or Sylvester Stallone to me.
I liked him as an actor for the movies that I did watch, which was basically, Bloodsport. After that, you've got Double Team, you've got Time Cop, you've got Street Fighter, a bunch of movies like that. But,
Sidekicks.
No, that's Chuck Norris.
Which is one where he's the villain in?
You guys are familiar with Raul Julia, I'm sure, who is M. Bison in this movie.
Yeah.
Theatrically, a thespian, Raul Julia. Chameleon.
I mean, he certainly acts like it, right? He's very Shakespearean as Bison.
Well, he went all out for this role. He watched footage of dictators and studied their hand movements. He went full Leslie Nielsen in Surf Ninjas.
I'm just going to say this right off the top as well. I do really like Raul Julia in this movie. I think he's one of the saving graces of this movie.
I agree.
As ridiculous as he is, he's very entertaining to watch, and you can tell he was having a good time. And all reports that I've read, which is one, say that on set he was also a very nice guy, and he brought his family, and he actually did this movie for his family.
Yeah.
His kids really like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You know about this, Josh.
This was his last movie ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
He picked this movie specifically for his kids.
My children play the video game, and as soon as I mentioned the title of the film, all of a sudden their faces lit up.
Normally, when they shoot a film, they shoot the action sequences first, I believe. But because of Raul's health, they had to shoot that completely different and wait till he was, well enough to look good on camera, because he was reportedly not looking good.
Now, Josh, what do you know about Stephen E. D'Souza?
Marking the directorial debut of Stephen D'Souza, screenwriter of 48 Hours and Die Hard.
I know he directed Die Hard. Did he also write it?
Marking the directorial debut of Stephen D'Souza, screenwriter of 48 Hours and Die Hard.
He wrote the scripts for Die Hard, Commando, and Running Man.
And the Flintstones.
But yeah, Stephen E. D'Souza wrote and directed this movie, and apparently in writing this, he had about like 24 hours to come up with a script idea so that it could be pitched to the studio in a timely manner. So it was written very quickly.
Yeah, so Capcom came to Hollywood with the intentions of greenlighting a Street Fighter film, but a lot of the studios just didn't know what to do with this source material because it's pretty Japanese and it's pretty muddled and there wasn't much to work with. We'll get into the plot, but just they take so many weird and odd choices.
They do, and you're right. Let's get into the plot now, I think. It's a good time. It starts off in a very unusual manner, this movie. There's a civil war in Shadowloo, a made-up place, right? Am I...
All right, let me say this right off the bat. Like, everything about this movie and like in terms of lore to the game is wrong. Shadowloo is not a fictional city. Shadowloo is a company.
Oh, I didn't even know that it had any game relevance at all. I thought it was completely made up. But what we learn about Shadowloo is that General Bison here, General Gomez Adams, he has a bunch of hostages and he's like demanding ransom money to the UN, I guess. And he has the hostages, but at the same time he's just kind of like killing them.
You came from across the world to fight me, soldier.
Stand clear.
Now is your chance. Pathetic.
Didn't he ask for 20 billion?
Yes.
Kind of a lot for 1994, wasn't it?
Maybe he just wanted 24 billion Bison bucks, because...
I imagine the scene from the second Austin Powers movie where a bunch of like White House officials start laughing. They're like, Mr. Bison, it's 1994. That kind of money doesn't exist.
We also get to meet our true American hero.
That was really upsetting to me, the fact that like in the game, Guile is this all-American military hero and with this like epic blonde hair all slicked up and back, and then you get Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know, this guy with a horrible accent speaking English here. He's got hair that's almost orange because it's bleached to get blonde.
You're right, the character design doesn't quite match up, does it? I mean, they really took the fact that the Guile character in the games has camo pants and they just ran with it. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Guile is like military man as interpreted by some weird Japanese guy. So he's over the top American, where he has like an American flag tattoo on his arm.
As you do.
As we
so
all do.
American that he doesn't even have an American accent.
Well, I mean, you're in Alabama, so I imagine that you have a different kind of flag tattooed, but let's move on.
Just a real American flag.
So yeah, Bison's whole thing is, look, give me 20 billion bucks or I'm going to be snapping more necks over here, right? And that's where he is.
Yes, your turn now.
And Guile is on the other side of it. Guile is like, I'm going to lead my military strike force who has costumes borrowed from surf ninjas, and we're going to take you out. Josh, why don't you tell us about the intro of our next characters, Ryu and Ken?
All right, again, keeping with the theme of everything is wrong, the oh-so-honorable Ryu and Ken are now interpreted as like fucking street hustlers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As they enter some weird, shady, like, Asian fight club, and they're watching some weird underground fight between Vega and some guy.
Poor some guy.
Some
Starts climbing up the cage.
Yeah.
Trying to get the fuck out of there.
I would be too. Like, it's like, this doesn't seem fair. This guy's got a mask and a claw. Well, I guess they gave him a machete, but he didn't seem very talented with it.
Now, what I like about Ken is that he wears a shirt and tie, but with jeans. Did you guys pick up on that?
So American.
Well, he's casual, but also is prepared for business.
As you do when you sell Nerf guns, you know?
This whole scene where they meet Sagat, and I guess they're trying to hustle him into buying some illegal firearms. But little do they know he has already acquired said firearms and orders their execution.
I don't understand. Like, they think it's gonna fire bullets. Like, the hole is like too large. Like, of course it's gonna fire Nerf balls. Like,
It's like a 3-inch hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless that gun is planning on firing grenades or something like that, like, you know, red flag should be raised a little bit. You should cock an eyebrow or two.
And now Ken is played by Damien Chapa. You guys seen him in anything else ever?
Show of hands.
Josh?
Show of hands. No.
Not that I can recall.
Not a goddamn thing.
All right, I'll tell you what he's been in. A movie that I love deeply. It's called Blood In, Blood Out.
In the heart of the city, in the soul of its people, there is a power stronger than law.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
plays...
Miklo.
It's Miklo.
Oh, no way.
This is the epic story of three brothers.
Run, Carnal, run! Patos locos forever, Carnal, let's go!
One searched for truth in the law.
You kill your own people! No!
One expressed his passion through art.
You'll be completely sold out by the end of the night.
And one found power in prison.
No one can stop us.
I want to set this up a little bit because it's something that's throughout the movie and they like cut back to it a lot, but I think we can just tell the story here. So Dalsham is also in the movie. They really cram these Street Fighter characters in here. Now Dalsham is but a shadow of his game character.
Well, that was a Capcom stipulation that they had to use every character from Street Fighter 2.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they check
they're
all the
all
boxes.
in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So have fun juggling that, Steven.
Marking the directorial debut of Steven D'Souza, screenwriter of 48 Hours and Die Hard.
So they got Dalsham, and he is not a stretchy Indian man that shoots fire out of his mouth. No.
No, he was not 9 feet tall like in the game. I mean,
He's a regular guy.
He's scientist, man.
regular guy. He was over there giving those the good memories. And did you notice that like
It's fucking.
how controversial they were though? I mean, he was feeding him like Martin Luther King and things of like civil rights movements.
he's
you know,
literally-
positive affirmation.
He's literally
Yeah.
got a fucking evil bar.
Of course!
So yeah, they're doing experiments on Blanka. They figure you hook up a headset, you show World War II footage, the man will become evil. But, I mean, there's also a little bit of mutant injections and red wigs you got to put on him too. But you know, until like Dalsham's like, all right, I'm gonna slip in these good memories, like you said. He puts in like his wedding video, I think. Like, what is he trying to like do? Like influence his like his voting bloc? Like he's gonna come out and like vote blue.
He's gonna come out and be a super voter.
Jokes aside, I've got a for real problem with how that whole situation is handled. First of all, Blanka is not some weird fucking lab experiment. He's just he's some jungle guy that they find. The runners of the Street Fighter tournament in the game, Shadaloo, just find him in the jungle and throw him into the tournament.
I love that. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's great, right? He's like the
I
wild.
always thought he was like found in the jungles of South America
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess that is it though.
Yeah,
Right.
He's the wild card.
Wild card, bitches! Yeah!
He actually was in an airplane crash and landed in South America. That's
Oh my god. Imagine putting that fucking thing in a plane. Being like, all right.
But they also fucking combine his story with Guile's story about looking for his friend Charlie Nash, which is also something they fuck up completely. Charlie Nash is a completely different character in the games.
Is he a playable character?
He is in the Alpha series.
Street Fighter Alpha.
What's notable about Nash as a character is he can do a double sonic boom, and that's allegedly where Guile learned his sonic boom.
He's like, he learned it, but he can only do one. He's like, all right, I haven't mastered the sonic boom. I can just do a single.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was the sonic boom in the movie?
Oh, I
That,
mean,
that got replaced for those spinning kicks.
yeah, if you want to talk about game moves in the movie, it's a pathetic shadow of the game.
Oh my
I saw the
God.
one flying kick.
Oh,
Which, like, is a straight up Liu Kang move. I don't know what that's about. Like,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
exactly what that was. Total rip off of Liu Kang.
Oh, did anybody notice the super embarrassing Shiruken that Ken does to Sagat later in the film?
Yes, it was sad. That actor is clearly not a martial artist because it was like,
Stand on your tiptoes and just turn around. That's-
yeah, it's pretty slow, man. So we get Ryu and Ken, they get busted by Sagat, and Sagat just sticks Ryu in the cage with Vega and is like, all right, this is gonna be fun. Let's see you guys fight. And it's set up pretty good because there's like a little bit of anticipation. Like Ryu gets a sword and like he takes off his shirt. He's pretty jacked. He can use the sword. The problem I have with it is that the fight doesn't happen. Like Guile just like shows up in a fucking tank or whatever and is like, you're all under arrest. And instead of like scattering, the crowd just like, all right. They just surrender. They just stick their hands up in the air.
Despite you being an obvious like criminal organization, you don't want to stir up too much trouble.
You know what they say in crime, in the world of crime? Always immediately surrender.
Well, you know what? I just thought about it. They probably would have started firing back at Guile had they actually received real guns.
In prison, we see Guile, and he kind of forms a plan, because he knows that Sagat works for Bison.
After nonchalantly just beating the shit out of a guy during a briefing.
The River Delta region.
Any other new business?
This is where, I mean, I thought he was going to last longer, but this is where Guile gets killed.
I really like that part where after he got shot and he's laying there, like the press is just standing there taking pictures of him. Like nobody's helping him. There's no medics there. They're on a military base. Why aren't the medics?
They immediately throw a fucking blanket over his dead corpse.
It's so funny. Yeah, he's like shot in the stomach. They put his body somewhere and he's just laying there for like all day and night because Chun-Li breaks in later and sees him and he just like, then he gets up when someone breaks. So he's like there for like what, 12, 16 hours?
He was covered up with a sheet. How did he even know that it was Chun-Li? I mean, she was all dressed up, ninja-esque, all black, face mask.
He read the script, obviously. Top of page 43, Chun-Li breaks in.
I don't know, from what I've been reading about Van Damme, I don't know if he did, like... I think he was doing his blow right off the script pages.
He used the scripts to roll up. For sure.
We got Chun-Li and her crew, who are all reporters. Very game-accurate stuff here. So there's Chun-Li, there's Balrog, and there's E Honda, the Hawaiian sumo. Josh, where do you stand on these guys? What do you think? Pretty good?
So, again, they're all wrong. But yeah, I guess we got a Hawaiian Honda, which doesn't make sense. That's Honda.
I thought he was a Japanese sumo wrestler.
Yeah, that's how he is in the game. Honda's a Japanese name, goddammit.
Here, keep it. Japanese fighters stick together. 'Cause we're brothers!
He was wearing the diaper in the game, not a Hawaiian shirt.
And Balrog is not a good guy.
Hi there. And you are?
I'm a welcome wagon. It's nice to meet you, friend.
That's a little weird. They made DJ a bad guy and made Balrog a good guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, since we were talking about Chun-Li, can I ask a question, see if you guys have the answer for that? There was a scene where they were talking about her father.
You had him shot as you ran away. A hero.
What's the backstory on that?
Oh, this is Josh territory. Go ahead.
Not much is kind of played out in the games, but the gist of it is that Bison killed Chun-Li's father.
I can remember her father's unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
So she wants to avenge her father's death against him, Bison. That's what she has against him.
Yeah, that's her whole deal. She's like trained her whole life for it in the movie.
They say she's from some weird village, but in the game she's just from China. And her dad is...
That is a weird village. What are you talking about? We find out what M. Bison is trying to do, which I took 2 notes on because I wasn't sure like which route he was trying to go. It seemed like at first he was trying to build a mall. And then he said his real plan is to actually build a bunch of super soldiers with the purpose of world peace.
All I want to do is to create the perfect genetic soldier. Not for power, not for evil, but for good.
And he's talking about putting in like a food court over here. He's like, I'm gonna put a food court here. There's gonna be like a Hot Topic over here.
He's like, trust me.
Don't forget the Claire's on the corner.
Yeah, he's gonna have a Claire's, like icing.
Taco Bell's gonna want to get in on this.
Yeah, he's like, I got investments going on with Panda Express and Yum Corporation.
It's around this time when he's telling them, yo, we need a Chick-fil-A here, a Taco Bell here. He receives word that Guile is killed on the news, and DJ goes to, congratulate him.
That's great news, General. Congratulations.
On the contrary, I mourn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. He wanted to like meet him in the field of battle. Yeah, this like idealized version of like
yeah,
maybe
it's
with
got
like
this
him.
romanticized version of some kind of fist fight. Can you imagine like Saddam Hussein is all like, no, I want to fucking fight George W. Bush hand to hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where the movie takes us next is the Ryu and Ken characters, along with Vega and Sagat. They've escaped from prison, so they go to meet with Bison. He's kind of just there hanging out with the baddies, enjoying a show, and Chun-Li springs a trap on him.
Quick product placement.
Capcom presents.
The thing about this scene that stuck with me my whole life is that Chun-Li springs a trap. She sends like a truck with explosives that's like barreling toward the tent, and she shows this to them on like a TV monitor, which really defeats the purpose because of course they run out in time. But the joke where like they're seeing it on the TV and the truck coming toward the tent.
Quick! Change the channel!
That joke has stuck with me my whole life. When I think of this movie, I think of that line.
That joke lands every fucking time I watch it.
Chun-Li and her crew of Balrog and Honda, they end up getting kidnapped and taken back to Bison's secret location. What we see happen to them is, well, some of them, specifically Honda, is he starts getting tortured, right? Which is like, kind of makes sense. Like, you feel like that's what they do. They torture these fucking guys. But it is a kid's movie, and it is a 90s kid's movie. So, like, they're just whipping him, and he's, like, completely impervious to it. What was noteworthy for me was a joke I don't think I got as a kid. Do you guys remember the joke that's said around here?
Give me a hand.
We've only been in jail 2 hours. Maybe next month.
He's gonna jerk him off.
Oh!
And we see Ryu and Ken, they get their proper costumes.
Now you look like Bison troopers.
Kind of takes away from their costume a little bit. It's like every fucking Bison schlub has them.
Guile is planning a big assault. He's gonna come, he's gonna rescue these hostages. He's gonna rescue Ryu and Ken and all the other people that are captured.
He's hyping up the troops.
Right, because he has a special stealth boat that can get to this base, right? It's like weirdly like polygonic prop boat that he's gonna use.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this thing?
This boat, as well as a lot of the props in this whole scene are very bad, but you know what? They didn't have a huge budget. They had like $35 million to make this movie, and 8 of that went to Jean-Claude Van Damme. So gotta do what they gotta do.
And approximately 2 of that went to his cocaine problem.
We get a big speech from Guile. It's like, step aside, Braveheart.
Braveheart for like 20 troops.
Step aside, Independence Day. Like, this is like the movie speech of all movie speeches.
Oh,
and
God.
I just love it.
I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
So, backtracking like 2 seconds during the briefing scene where they're explaining the fucking boat, did anybody catch the Oscar-worthy performance by the Japanese gentleman?
A single boat against everything he's got? The pilot would have to be out of his mind.
I know I stated before that Capcom mandated that all the characters be used, and that was true, but they made one exception for the character Fei Long because they were really trying to push this Japanese pop star as an international star, so they tried to put him in this American movie. He is the character Sawada.
Is he one of the military guys?
Yes. He's not a character from the game, although they put him in the Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Oh my god, that game.
Yeah.
Sawada!
If if I'm remembering correctly, he was kind of a big deal at the time in Japan. He was a pop star, but after this movie, it kind of killed his career.
Of course!
I like how M. Bison is like trying to take down the boat as it's approaching his secret location. And one of the things he does is he presses like arcade cabinet buttons to detonate mines underwater.
It's an actual Street Fighter 2 arcade layout.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Of course!
It's not like, it's funny. It's not cool. It's
not good.
It's not good.
But it's funny.
Of course!
There's this little scene where he puts the tape in the tape player. It plays a video of like his wife or something. And he has like this obligatory 3 seconds of like longing and thinking about his wife.
Yeah,
and like
a real Mr. Freeze moment.
Yeah, exactly. And they have
song.
they have to play the romantic music for 3 seconds while he sits back and thinks about them.
Some things are worth fighting for. Does everybody else in the boat have to listen to that too? Like, god damn it, this song sucks.
I say he was just sad he ran out of Coke at that time.
That's what he's more upset about.
So there's a part that I like to talk about because of the visuals of it, and that is when M. Bison is trying to woo and or maybe sexually assault Chun-Li.
Of course!
Look, we don't know how it was going to play out because it gets cut off early. The set that he's in is fucking amazing.
Oh, man.
His little office is so cool. I don't know if you guys like really let that sink in, but he has like a chandelier made out of bones. He's got like a Napoleon Bonaparte-esque painting of him, like on the horse. And he's got like a sad clown painting of him, like a John Wayne Gacy-esque fashion.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I really like his little lair. And he's, he puts on his robes and he's like, all right, I'm gonna like...
He changes his hat. He's got a hat for every situation.
Yeah. He's got a Asian hostage that I'm gonna do things to hat.
Of course!
We get one of the most pimpest lines ever in movie fucking history, in my opinion.
For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded motherfucker.
All right, so we were talking about the way characters look in the movie versus the way they are in the game, and we talked about Blanka a little bit, but this is where Blanka gets released. He gets like broken out of his cage, and we get to see him like full on. We kind of saw him through like the glass a little bit, but we get to see him full on, and
because Dalsum is getting beat up by Guile. Everybody's favorite fucking Street Fighter character.
Guile.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like Lou Ferrigno, right? I mean, he looks pretty fucking... It's around this time that Guile breaks into Bison's secret location, and this is where he sees his old friend, Blanka. His immediate reaction is...
I'll help you. And then I'll make them pay.
Oh, holy shit, let me save you by blowing your fucking head off. What the fuck did they do to you, buddy? Let me fucking end your life.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
You look pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah, I mean, until like Dalsum came over there and was kind of like had to explain what was going on. He was just gonna cap him, dude. Like, you're fucked, dude.
You can't just shoot all your problems.
No, Jean-Claude Van Damme snorted them.
You can't just snort all of your problems.
It's very striking to me that his solution to this problem is just to put him down like old Yeller. He's like, I'm gonna help you. And then he starts raising his gun to his head. He's like, I'm gonna help you, buddy. Like, come on, man.
This is the most humane thing I can think of.
As the only good memory Blanka has is Martin Luther King.
and Dalsum's wedding.
Yeah. This is pretty much where things start kicking off toward the end as far as the big third act, because Bison doesn't get his ransom. So he's going to kill the hostages, but not before Guile flying kicks his way into the room.
Yeah!
kind of a big gunfight here, and we get like our final showdowns between our various characters in the movie, some of which are better than others, I'll say.
Yeah, it's like some characters get in fights with other characters, but for the most part, everybody just fights generic soldiers, so tough shit if your favorite character's like, you know, fucking Balrog.
Or like Cammy or something,
yeah. But we got Honda versus Zangief, which I think is a good fight.
I don't.
Yeah, and the other, the Japanese guys are like staring at it. They're like, oh my god.
Sawada's fucking Oscar performance.
You say this killed his career? Was that the guy?
Yeah, that's the guy.
So there's a part where Ryu fights Vega and Sagat.
I really enjoy this fight.
I think that's one of the better fights in the movie. It is very short, but it is probably one of the better ones. And Ken does show up to help Ryu, because Ryu's kind of getting his ass kicked.
Ryu, get out of there, man. It's a trap.
Ryu, hang a Yui, amigo. You're walking into a trap.
Vatos locos forever.
Blood in, blood out.
Any notes on that fight other than the really bad, what is it called? What's it called? The spinning uppercut?
Yeah, the Shiruken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the, Shiruken. There's a really bad Hadouken. I went frame by frame, and it's not even like an energy that gets emitted out of his hands. It's like the whole screen goes white.
So Guile finally has his confrontation with Bison.
You have made me a happy man.
Next, I'll make you a dead one.
I mean, the way their fight essentially starts is the way I think it would actually happen if Jean-Claude Van Damme fought Raul Julia. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme is just basically kicking his ass.
Like, calm down, Jean. He's got cancer.
The man is dying. Leave him alone.
dying.
His cocaine-fueled rage, he can't let up. M. Bison basically gets taken out. He falls on a panel where he gets electricity goes through his body. And I guess his like super life alert activates.
I've got some volunteers on it. And maybe they'll be able to help.
When he becomes like proper Bison from the game, I guess. I mean, you know, whatever. He's this movie version, as close as we're gonna get.
Super grounded in reality. So, like, he doesn't have any, like, actual magic powers. All of his abilities are based on science.
Right, he's got, what did they exactly call it? Electromagnetic.
This is merely superconductor electromagnetism.
Now, what I fucking hate about this is, like, he flies up into the air, he slowly comes down and just, like, flies by and punches Guile, right?
No, he, like, literally flies at him for, like, the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. He does eventually get taken out. I don't remember exactly how. He like grabs him and...
He does I don't know if you guys know this. Jean-Claude does the same exact fucking spinning kick in every fucking movie.
He does like 3 of them in a row, right?
I'm not sure if he does 3 or they just like repeat the shot. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, he knocks him into the Jumbotron.
Yeah, the Jumbotron.
Bison, you're off the air.
Alright, so the secret location, the whole facility is gonna blow.
The classic 90s self-destruct button gets activated.
Zangief's character arc is now complete.
Sorry, man. Can't play no more.
Collard! Come back!
Nobody apparently told him he was working for the bad guys.
General Bison, he's a bad guy.
And not only that, he wasn't even getting fucking paid.
You got paid?
This is kind of where it wraps up because Guile, who you think is in the building, does escape, and he says his one-liner.
Lieutenant, make a note. I need a vacation.
Yes, sir.
And it ends on a very stupid note where they all pose for the camera.
Anybody catch the fucking Avengers end credit sequence?
Attempting to activate system. System activated. Good morning, General Bison. What is your menu choice for today?
What? Yes! Alright, well, let's get into ratings. Josh, where are you at on Street Fighter?
If we're going a more serious approach, probably like a 2, maybe 3 out of like 10. But if you approach this movie as a comedy, it's a solid 9 or 10.
What does that round out to?
Math wizards in the comments.
Sounds about like a solid 6.
I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna give Street Fighter a 5 out of 10.
5!
It's watchable, and it's kind of entertaining to watch, but it's also pretty fucking bad. Like, it doesn't look good, it's not, like, accurate to the game, but it can't be. It's just so stupid. And Raul Julia is in a whole nother movie.
Of course!
Jean-Claude Van Damme is in his own world of, like, cocaine and hookers.
Of course!
Jonathan, where are you at?
I'm gonna go right down the middle too. I'm gonna say it's a 5 out of 10 because it's watchable.
5!
Definitely not my favorite Van Damme film.
Alright, so I think we're all on the same page for the most part. I mean, it's kind of weird with this movie. It's not like Surf Ninjas, right, Josh? Where like it's like very fun and funny. And
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I've got fond memories of this movie. At least to me, it's up there with a Surf Ninjas level of cheese that transcends quality.
Anyone who opposes me will be destroyed.
Surf Ninjas is the peak of movies. And this falls somewhere in the middle, I think. The peak of film is Surf Ninjas. I fucking love Surf Ninjas. Anyway.
If Street Fighter was on TV and there was only one other channel, I'd probably watch the other channel.